These are like the love of my life, besides my kids.
I've put a lot of my life on hold to pursue the things that I love, and I just thought, you know, if I can make this work with a dog, I'd love to have that companion.
I could just kind of lean on her for like emotional support. Fendi will play slot receiver if she had a pen in her field. I say Fendi probably faster. He don't like that.
My favorite is that Buick Riviera. When I got arrested by the feds, they took me to jail in a 1965 Buick Riviera. Hi, my name's Danny Trejo. Oh, look at that. Look at what good puppies. You know what, I'm just a dog person. Cats remind me of movie stars. They think they're so entitled. Love dogs. I don't like people that don't like dogs. Did a movie called Machete, and we had asked Robert De Niro to be in it. And when I first ran into him, all I could say to him was, "Can I get you some coffee, Mr. De Niro?" Yeah. If I get hurt, I'm risking everybody's job. So when I go on a movie, first thing I tell the director, "Look, Holmes, I won't jump off a curb, okay? Let's see that guy over there? Put a mustache on him, looks just like me. This is Meet the Pets." Come here, boys. Pups. Hey, come on, sit. Come on, sit down. Good boy. It was a half sit. Hi, baby. What's your little fat tummy? What's your little fat tummy? This right here, handsome guy, that's Liam. 6 months ago, Liam couldn't walk. His back hips went out. The doctor gave him a shot. He's like a puppy now. That's the Duke, named after John Wayne. And this is John Wesley Harding, named after the meanest cowboy in the West. Once shot a man for snoring too loud. That's Penny Lane. Sergeant Pepper. I think I spoil them with table food. I'll bring them home. Carne asada, I'll wash it real good, get all the spices out of it. They love it. Oh yeah, God. I was sneaking into the Coliseum in 1957. I was just a kid. I'd go and watch the Rams play. Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch and Norm Van Brocklin, the Flying Dutchman, they used to call him. When they left, I kind of got away from them. I just worried about point spreads and stuff. Even when the Raiders were here, I wasn't a Raiders fan. They were stepchildren as far as LA was concerned. I think the Rams are pulling everybody together. That is so cool. Let's get behind our team, the Rams. I was angry about the first 5 Star Wars because there was no Mexicans in it. You know what I mean? It was like, wait a minute, you mean we're not going into outer space? So now they're doing all right, you know, and like Robert Rodriguez directed Boba Fett, and it was just a great experience. It's funny, Robert Rodriguez made me a household name with Spy Kids. I've heard, look, mommy, the man from Spy Kids in 30 different languages all over the world. No, it's like a myth. If I get hurt, I'm risking everybody's job. So when I go on a movie, first thing I tell the director, "Look, Holmes, I won't jump off a curb, okay? Let's see that guy over there? Put a mustache on him and looks just like me." I got a stunt guy, Norm Morrow. He looks so much like me that my daughter went up and said, "Dad, give me some money." I did a movie called Heat, and Robert De Niro and Al Pacino and Val Kilmer and John Voight. These were like the big stars, right? And I was so in awe of all of them. I did a movie called Machete, and we had asked Robert De Niro to be in it. And when I first ran into him, he, you know, on the set, he goes, "You, hey, number one, you." And we just laughed, you know, because how can you say you're, you know, the lead if Robert De Niro's in the movie? But on the call sheet, I was the lead, so all I could say to him was, "Can I get you some coffee, Mr. De Niro?" Yeah. Me, my son, and my daughter, we went to dinner at his hotel, and we were eating, and I was trying to tell my kids, "Look, it's Robert De Niro. You guys don't act like kids. You know, just be like cool." Robert De Niro asked a question about some French director. Know your lines, don't bump into the furniture. I know that much about making movies. And my son knew who he was. Started talking. The rest of the night was spent with Gilbert, my son, discussing film with Robert De Niro. And I was so impressed. It's got Robert De Niro's cell number. I don't even have it. I've had dogs all my life. My first recollections of dogs is we had 3. My uncle's dog was named Butch. We had Butch, Blackie, and Bazoo. From the gate, I was that kid that would say, "Hey, he followed me home," and have him on a rope, you know. I I think the good Lord wants us to start living up to all our responsibilities, which one of them is taking care of these guys. They were wolves. We called them in, we domesticated them, we made them our responsibility. Give me that, Duke. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. What? Get him, Penny. Oh, what did you? I met a producer. His name was Ash Shaw. And he saw that I like good food. I don't eat processed food. He said, Danny, why don't you open a restaurant? Jokingly, I said Trejo's Tacos, because my mom and I had talked about a restaurant for years. When we did the last movie, he brought me a business plan. I got 5 restaurants right now. Hey, 1958 Chevy Impala. I gave this one to Mario, my assistant. They're so rare. They only made them 1 year. It's gorgeous, man. My favorite is that Buick Riviera. When I got arrested by the feds, they took me to jail in a 1965 Buick Riviera. This one is the creme de la creme. 1956 Chevy Bel Air. Chopped the top quite a bit. What we've done is like all the beautiful women that I've worked with most of them are here. Alexa Vega, Michelle Rodriguez, Sofia Vergara, Selma Hayek. I love this car. Thank you for watching Meet the Pets. And you really met some great pets today, because these are like the love of my life, besides my kids. And my daughter's the favorite. Okay, so.
Coming up next.
Bane's going to be 4 in the spring, and then Baloo is going to be a year. And I forgot how hard puppyhood was. That was an interesting summer, but I'm glad it was the summer, not the winter. Winning gold at the Olympics was sort of this full circle moment. You know, you dream of accomplishing something like that as a kid, and to actually have it happen, it's one of the most magical moments I've ever been a part of, especially to do it with that team. It's just something that will forever remain special to all of us. Finally, after the Olympics were over, I could take a deep breath. I was like, okay, I'm ready for a bulldog. So yeah, I got Bane after Winnie and kind of haven't looked back, and now Bane's kind of balding on the side. He looks like an old man, but he's still a puppy. Bane, this way, come here. Hi, I'm Hilary Knight, a professional hockey player, and these are my pets. This is Baloo, and the other one's Bane. Oh. People would probably recognize me from playing hockey professionally and then also with the U.S. team. I'd have to start with a few national championships with the Wisconsin Badgers, definitely up there. The 8 World Championship victories, and then the big 2018 Olympic gold medal victory. It's so funny because everyone thinks there's like, oh, you have to defend your Olympic gold. It's like, well, we already won the Olympic gold. There's not necessarily defending it. It's just going out and trying to capture another one, especially given our team. It's a very different team than it was before. And you just have to go out there and you want to win the last game of the year. And that, hopefully for us, is the Olympic Games. I've put a lot of my life on hold to pursue the things that I love, and I just thought, you know, if I can make this work with a dog, I'd love to have that companion that they've always given me since I was super young. Come on. We used to have 2 Chesapeake Bay Retrievers when I was growing up, doubles and Dunlop. My mom's a big tennis fan. Then we also had like 5 guinea pigs, I'd say. We had our kind of full gamut of different animals and reptiles and stuff, but dogs are special. They've always played a big role in my life ever since I was a little kid, and they still do now.
Are we dancing? Are we dancing?
I love big dogs. Yeah, there's just something about, you know, being able to go sort of live an active lifestyle outside. Not saying that these guys can't, because they do, but to not necessarily like worry about them or like coming in contact with wildlife on a trail. They're sort of the perfect pups for now, which is great. Bane, I think, is a mix between an English Bulldog and a Dog du Bordeaux. And then Baloo, who looks like a little stuffed Oreo, is a English Bulldog. Bane's going to be 4 in the spring, and then Baloo is going to be a year. And I forgot how hard puppyhood was. That was an interesting summer, but I'm glad it was the summer, not the winter. It's just early mornings and countless paper towels and different rags and lots of cleanup and consistency, but I know once we sort of get through the woods, it's gonna be extremely rewarding. Bane is a ride or die kind of homie. He's just there. He shakes like a leaf in the car, and that's why he's balding as well, but he's just so sweet and sensitive. And Baloo is kind of like a bowling ball, but super cuddly when it's time to be cuddly. Baloo likes to steal hats, underwear, and any paper product. If any of those are near the ground or his little purview, he'll get them. Bane, we do something called manicure time. And it's essentially, you know, just a paw. He'll just like throw his paw at you. And it's like, oh, do you want to do manicure time? So I let him rest his paw here and kind of pretend like I'm giving him a manicure.
Good boy.
The one thing I've learned specifically just in the sport of hockey and developing and getting better is consistency. And to be able to apply those skill sets to raising a dog and making sure that it's trained, there's a lot of parallels there. And then also just structure. I think as athletes we feed on different rhythm and making sure that we have a good structure that's conducive to our environment, and facilitating the same, whether it's a puppy or a full-grown dog, is important. I got into the sport of hockey because we moved from California to Illinois, and I'm from like a huge ski family. Skating became a thing, so my brothers and I could meet other kids in the community and do something fun and athletic. And then it very quickly turned into hockey with all the gear and all the stuff and the sticks and everything. And you know, our family really embraced the sport as much as the sport embraced us, and haven't looked back since. You know, we're so intense on the ice, to come back and take a little bit slower walks or a little slower, generous hikes is fun. There's one trail here locally that I love to do. I'd say a hike is generous. It's very gradual and it's more my speed, but it's good for them just because the altitude's really hard with their breathing and stuff, and they have to acclimate, but it's easy. I can get down if needed, but it's also a good exercise, and like a 45-minute loop is a solid workout for them. They can thrive in the city, but after they've been out here, you can kind of tell a difference. So it's sort of like showing something and then taking it away. So now that they know that there's this great abundance of outdoor space and wildlife, you know, they like to track down all the new smells, and you're like, you're a bulldog, you're not supposed to do that, but it's just sort of animal instinct and their nature, and they're a little bit more proud out here and carry themselves with a little bit more happiness.
5, good job. Good job, too.
2 is it for now. I think if I get a bigger place and have more land, because I want them to kind of have more space to themselves, and obviously having a larger mudroom would be important too, just to throw all the gear and to towel them off and have all their leashes and coats and stuff. But I'm not opposed to it. I think I'd probably get like a bigger Mastiff if I had more land. Bane was with me during the global pandemic. We were both home alone together, keeping one another company, and you know, me traveling a lot, it just seemed really unfair for me just to take off and say, all right, see you later. So to have him have some constant in his life, I thought was really important, and also give him a little bit more confidence, you know, on different trails and stuff. So it's been a good fit so far. It's definitely more crazy, but I wouldn't change my decision. I'm not like hugely emotional of a person, but I don't know if it's because the pandemic and everything was locked down. I spent like every day for the better part of 6 months with Bane at the time. You know, I'll definitely just start like bawling for no reason. I'm like, I don't know why I'm bawling, I'm coming back in a week. They just mean so much to me, and they fill a big part of my life. And it's sad when you leave, you know, the little ones that you love.
Coming up next.
The crazy thing, I never did like the dogs. I remember one day he got out the yard and kind of got lost. I almost cried like a baby. My girl really was crying. I couldn't believe it because she didn't like dogs either. That's the only time I've been scared. Kenzo, come here. To get drafted, being laughing stock of the NFL, and going to be one of the best teams in the NFL, that was a great feeling. All right, my name is Frank Gore. I'm chilling today here with Kenzo and my lady Fendi, and this is Meet the Pats. When I went to San Fran, we was the sorriest team in the league. It took me, 6, 7 years to go to the playoffs. Well, I was happy that the lights went off because it kind of helped us, because we was getting killed by Baltimore. I think we came in too cocky, and you know, when the lights went off, we started talking to ourselves and, you know, warming up, and you could tell that we was the better team. We just didn't get it done. Every time I go back to the Bay, It showed me so much love, man, and I'm happy I got drafted there. Like I tell them, I always will bleed red and gold. I can't wait till I get back into the front office because I feel like I'm a part of the team again. And when I get back there, I will help our team be successful. My 3rd or 4th year, I started Boston, putting it in for training for football. Because as a running back, the older you is, the heavier your legs get. So I used it Boston for conditioning. And I think that's one of the reasons, I was able to play 16 years. I do want to get in the ring again. Kenzo played running back. Kenzo built like a tank, for Frenchie, he pretty built Frenchie. Fendi will play slot receiver if she had to play in the NFL. I say Fendi probably faster. He don't like that. Kenzo, I had him for about a year right now. My brother's the one breed Frenchies, and he brought him over because he knew my kids was gonna want one. My youngest son, Masai, kept playing with Kenzo, and it was time for my brother to leave. He had to take the puppies, and Masai wouldn't stop crying, and I had to go buy one. I think that's one of the best things I did because I love him like he one of my kids. I also have Fendi. She a girl, French Bulldog. She like 8 months. My kids willed me in to get another one because the way it looked, the way the color, the eyes. But I will say she's smart. She kind of caught on to with not using the bathroom, inside the house. But she's very playful. She like attention. She like to steal all the attention from Kenzo. So that's why she's not here right now because we won't be able to get this story done. I enjoy her. She'll a little while. She not chill like Kenzo, but she'll be there one day. The crazy thing, I never did like dogs. I mean, one day he got out the yard and kind of got lost. I almost cried like a baby. My girl really was crying. I couldn't believe it because she didn't like dogs either. That's the only time I've been scared. Like, that's when I realized, like, man, because I used to always be like, why are people crazy about dogs? And so when I got him and when he got away, that's when I realized, like, I see why, because, they become your family. They become like one of your child. If I can fall in love with them, you definitely will. I started playing football since I was 4 years old. I was too young to play at the time. My mom changed my birth certificate, played at the Southwest Boys Club. I just used to love playing because I used to play in our neighborhood, play throw a touch, throw a tackle. And I always used to play with the big boys. And, to be the youngest one out there, I used to have success. What stands out, me getting drafted, because what I had to deal with before I got drafted, 2 knee surgeries, and as a running back, if you don't got knees, you can't play. You can't go to the NFL, and the injuries I had, a lot of people couldn't get back. That was a blessing. Me playing the most now is from God and me hard working and how much I love the game. The week my mom passed, it was a tough week for me. I decided to stay with the team to play that Sunday. That whole week was fake. Just because what was going on. Every day it just felt like a dream, and for me to stay up there and not go home, to go out there, go to war with my teammates, and for me to score a touchdown, like to put us on top to win the game, and the way I scored, I know she was on the field, especially on that play. That was the most memorable touchdown I ever scored. My son, name is Frank Gore Jr. He go to the University of Southern Miss, play running back, very natural. Remind me of me so much that it's crazy when I watch this game. I'm nervous when I'm watching them, but it feels so good, man. To see my older son in college, doing his thing. Hopefully God bless him to reach his dream, and that's give to the NFL. And I'd be proud of that. Hey, thank you guys for watching me, Kenzo, and my girl Fendi on Meet the Pets.
Coming up next.
I missed 5 games due to concussion, so she was there throughout the time I wasn't traveling with the team, so she'll just be there. I could just kind of lean on her for like emotional support. I'm an athlete, but sometimes I want to be a soft guy. She knows what she's doing. The only person I would really feel starstruck is with Tom Brady because he played with my dad and he's still in the league and I'm in the league, so that would have been like, dang, you was playing while my dad was playing and you the greatest quarterback of all time. Go Fetch. Good girl. Hey, what's up? This is Ahmed Samuel Jr. and you're watching Meet the Pets. I have 2 welcome to the league moments. First one was my first preseason game. It was like my second snap of my NFL career. I tried to make the biggest tackle of my life because, you know, I got to prove to everybody that I'm supposed to be here. That's when they kind of started to respect me and know I was about my business. On the other end of the stick, I'll say going against Nick Chubb. He was running at me. I was like, I'm going to tackle him, but kind of like stiff-armed me and kept me moving. He kind of whooped me up that play. Those are some great players, kind of like the best in the league. Going against Justin in training camp prepared me for the season because he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Being able to team up with Derwin James and being able to have him in the secondary as a rookie, it definitely helped my gameplay. I could play more comfortable because I know I have an elite safety back there. And Eckler and Mike Williams, those guys on offense, they preached to me during the offseason and during the season, like next play mentality, because if something bad happens, you can't really dwell on that too much because they're going to come right back at you, so you got to be prepared. I did the same thing I would have did if I was first round or if I was undrafted. I just try to keep a work hard mentality and just keep your head down and grind. Just do my own thing and compete with myself. Going against Justin Herbert, in my opinion, he was like top 2, top 3 quarterback in the NFL. Just going against him and getting good quality reps will help me in the long run, and it'll help me week by week just going against different quarterbacks that can't do the same thing he can do. She's a Labrador, and she's kind of big. She's only 8 months right now. She's already this big. Everybody loves her. She always want to be cuddled. She doesn't bark. She doesn't bite. She just want to be loved. Well, I got my dog when I first got to California when they drafted me, and I just wanted a friend that I can have while I'm up here by myself. I got her from the homeless shelter. I named her Star because when we first walked in there, everybody was looking at her. I was like, we might as well name her Star because everybody loves her, and she's kind of like a star in the homeless shelter. She would be a quarterback because she's very smart. She knows what she's doing. I missed 5 games due to concussion, so she was there throughout the time I wasn't traveling with the team, so she'll just be there. I could just kind of lean on her for like emotional support. I'm an athlete, but sometimes I want to be a soft guy. Every time I walk her, she goes downstairs, she races me downstairs. So when I got to the door, she kind of beat me outside, and I had to really like chase around the block and try to grab her before she goes on the road and something bad happens. And once I grabbed her, she kind of just started like jumping on me, playing. But I was kind of like mad because I just ran, broke a sweat. It's early in the morning, like 8 o'clock, but you gotta love her though. All right, so here's the pet challenge. Let's see if Star listens. Hey girl, go fetch, fetch. Come in. Good girl, good girl. All right, here's the next challenge. Sit, sit, sit. Star, sit. Good girl. Paw, 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 paw. Good girl, here. It was a little bit more pressure when I was in college because I wasn't in the NFL, but now that I'm in the NFL, I'm at the highest level there is. I just have to stay there and just compete at a high level, so I don't feel like it's no pressure. It never was really pressure to me because I want to make my own name and do what I want to do. Just definitely getting the ball more, ball production, more interceptions, more takeaways for the team. Whatever we have to do to win, that's what I want to do.